Alright, so let's take a look at this tide problem. On October 10th, on a particular beach, the water has a maximum depth of 16 meters at 7 a.m. A minimum depth of 4 meters occur at 1:24 p.m. Assume that the relation between the depth d in meters and the time t in hours is a sinusoidal function. So write an equation for the depth of the water at a time t in hours from 7. So they want us to work in hours, not in minutes. Okay, so 16, my depth is 16 meters. That's the maximum. The minimum, this depth, y equals 4 meters. So add these together, that's 20, and half of 20 is 10. So my center line is 10 meters. So my amplitude is 6, because 6 units above or 6 units below that center line are my max and min. At 7 a.m., we're going to call that t equals 0. And at 7 a.m., you're at a maximum depth. Okay. And then in the afternoon, at 1:24, you're down here. So we want this t in hours. So from 7 a.m. to 1:24 p.m., we've got that 6 hours and 24 minutes has elapsed, and if we want to change 24 minutes to hours, we divide by 60. So the common factor of that is 12. So that's how many hours have passed. So if this is t equals 0, then down here is 6 2/5. Let's change that to a decimal, that 2/5 to a decimal, and call it 6.4 hours. So that's half of my period. So my full period is 12.8. So alright. T hours from 7 a.m. So is there really a problem with saying that so many hours before 7 a.m.? I don't see where that would necessarily be a problem. So half of 6.4 is 3.2. So if I call this negative 3.2, 3.2 hours before 7 a.m., and then I could use this as my basic sine curve, or I could go to the end of that cycle right there and use 9.6 and describe the next cycle. But let's go ahead and be different this time and use that negative 3.2. There's not really a reason not to. So this depth is a function of time. Let's see, if we've got our amplitude is 6 meters. Our period is 12.8 hours. This time, if we're shifting to the left, we want to add 3.2 hours. And our center line is 10. Now this 2 over 12.8, we can reduce that to pi over 6.4, right? Pi over 6.4. So here's one answer. Now let's say that somebody did decide to start here and to use this as their basic sine curve. So if we've got our negative 3.2 plus 12.8, so if our starting position was here at 9.6, what would we have? We'd have the same graph can be written as 6 times the sine of pi over 6.4, but instead of the plus 3.2, we could go minus 9.6 plus 10. And if you were to graph these, why it's the same graph. All right, so hey, I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.